30,000 feet in the air tonight. That's the altitude that we're going to be flying high tonight. I am your co-pilot, and our captain today on this flight will be none other than Dr. Alourdes Pierre. We are going to have a great time today. Hey, everybody. I am your leadership coach, Glastinne, with another message that could take your leadership to the next level. Tonight, we are daring you to believe that you can soar no matter where you're at in life right now, no matter what's going on. We are daring you to get up with what you got and take off. Tonight, the person that's going to help us with that is Dr. Alourdes Pierre. So please stay tuned, and you don't want to miss this. Tonight, we have none other than Dr. Alourdes Pierre, best-selling author. You hear me? Best-selling author. And she's going to be daring you. I want her to talk about her book. Her message in her book is just so powerful. She's going to be daring you to be great and start off with what you got. Matter of fact, that's the that's the title of the book. So let me go ahead and I want her to tell you her story, because anything that I can say, I would take away from her passion. So I don't want to even talk about that. And you guys know I don't want to talk about my guest story, because that's their story and I want them to bring it out to you. All right. So without further ado, let's get Dr. Pierre on.
Hello.
Hey, Dr. Pierre. How you doing?
Coach, I'm so happy. I'm excited to join you this evening and this great show.
Yeah, man. I'm excited too. And it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for making time for us. And I told everybody that we are going to be flying high tonight at 30,000 feet tonight.
Yeah,
and they have to buckle up their seatbelts. That's how high we're going to be flying.
Take off God.
Hey, before we begin, I'd like to just tell everybody, go ahead and click on that little airplane and kind of share this with your friends and your family, and ask them to join us. Let them know that we're on live. I want them to join. I don't want no one to miss this message, and I think it's going to be a great message. You got to hear this story. It's a spectacular story. It's a voyage from the Caribbean islands to the United States. It's a fantastic story. Like I said, I don't want to tell you the story because, I don't want to steal anyone's thunder. But I want you guys to just share this with somebody, and always, please hit that love button and show our guests, some love when she says something that resonates with you. And on that note, Dr. Alourdes, thank you for being here. Really appreciate you.
My pleasure.
For those of us that don't know you, give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Okay, before I give a background about myself, I would like to start with a quote. There's this author once said, I believe once you follow your dream, dare to persist, to take off with what you got, it will always take you to your glorious moment. And there's no illusions about that. My life has always been about self-determination. Follow your dream, follow your star, no story, no glory. I'm Dr. Aldourdes. So, Coach, wow. I'm excited to be here this evening. So the topic is about the art of being daring. Look, one thing I will say, before somebody can be daring to take off with what they got, as the title of my book read, there's some work that needs to be done. And it begins with the mindset. positive mindset or a negative mindset. If the mindset is a positive one, we have a better opportunity to take off with what we got. My story began when my mother decided she was going to leave the island of Haiti. She was very courageous. Courageous that doesn't mean you're not afraid. Once Zig Ziglar described fear two ways. We can face everything and rise, or we can face everything and run. So my mother, who decided at that time that it was under a regime that was so bad with some militia group. My mom, she has two daughters. She was a renowned seamstress, and she decided she was going to take the dare. But coming from a family of faith, we always believe all things are possible, and without a vision, we cannot get nowhere. So when my mom decided she was going to leave Haiti to come to America, because we believe as immigrants, America offers hope. Regardless of what's going on in this country, we're better off in America than anywhere else. So my mom, because she had a compelling why and the audacity of hope. Compelling why means you have a reason why you want to get inside a boat on that rough sea to leave the island of Haiti to come to America. So to all my audience...
Wait a minute. So now I want the audience to understand what's going on here, because when people from the US, they think about boats.
Yes.
They equate boats with ships.
No.
Now I want you to explain the boat part. Like what describe that boat that your mother got into to sail to America.
Well, first of all, my family, we come from the east coast of Haiti. We come from a place that all the sea, all the waters, and that's where they build the boat. The people that build those boats, they are not engineers. These are not the boat like when you go on a cruise. No. These are a group of men. I don't know how they do it, but they will build a boat. Many times those boats, they sink. Many times. But we know people that got inside the boat, they don't make it. In order for you to take the dare, your mindset must be ready to take the dare. You must believe that you're going to make it. But before you take the dare, you have to create your plan. If you don't know where you're going, you will not make it there. First of all, if you're going to get inside the boat with, I don't know how to describe it, with some pieces of wood, it's not like those big, when you go to cruise ship, no, it wasn't like that. But my mother with the audacity of hope. What does audacity of hope means? When you have the audacity of hope, that means you have faith in God that everything's going to be fine. The reason she did it, because she believed America will offer better opportunities, better education for her children. And she was right. And here I am today. Coming from an immigrant mom, immigrant family, it was extremely, extremely difficult from the beginning. When you see the cover of my book, there's an airplane, because my mother always told me, I need to allow my education to become the jet that was going to take me from the land of lack to the land of plenty in this country. My mom made it. We prayed, she believed, she dared. Before my mom left Haiti, we had a plan. We didn't have a vision board. My mom had a sheet of paper from my notebook. That's what she used. I was 13 years old, but my mind was way advanced. We had to prepare how much money she's going to need, how much money she's going to leave behind for us. The first time she left, she did not make it. I know some people would have quit it right there.
What do you mean she didn't make it the first time she left? What do you mean?
She returned back home. The first time she left, she returned back home. But quitting was not on my mother's dictionary. She was not going to quit. And she returned back. I put all the stories inside this book. This is very authentic story. She returned back to the same thing she was doing. She was a renowned seamstress. She had a boutique where she was selling fabrics. And she returned back because we chose not to share with the neighbors, with the people, with my classmates. We did not share with nobody. After a year, she left again. Augmentino once said, if your determination to succeed is strong enough, failure will not be an option. Like I said earlier, if anyone that decide to take the dare, if they believe in that persist, they can do it. But it has to start with the mindset. So anybody that's going to say, I cannot do it, the water will be too much for me, the sea will be too much for me, we might sink. That's life. No story, no glory. So everybody, every immigrant we've seen in this country, every one of us, we have a story to share. Even though I did not come by boat, but my mom's story really was so engaging, I had to put it down on paper. The title of this book, It's Your Time, Be Daring. Whoever's looking at me this evening, I know this is a very tough time, the coronavirus time, but there will be life after coronavirus. This is the time they need to take this moment to start planning, to start taking the dare, to start believing in what they're doing. Like I've been saying on my podcast, every morning I take my me time, because if I can give the employer 8 hours, I need at least 1 hour for me to make sure I wake up with a mindset of gratitude, with a mindset of thanksgiving. Because in America, I can say thank you for the water, thank you for the food, thank you for a place to live. Regardless of what's going on, we're always much better in this country. So that's why my mom decided she was going to take the dare, and she did. And she had a why. And I'm my mother's compelling why. Because if you don't have a why, no, you will quit. You will not go. Because you know for sure this is what I call courageous.
Well, you know what? I love that. I love that. And I just want to just get everybody to understand that what she's talking about is pure leadership. Her mom, that's the reason why I wanted her to tell her story, because her mom is a leader. I mean, she had the vision and she explained the vision to her family. She saw the vision in her mind, and then she had a compelling why. The why is the engine. The why is the push, that hand. If you want that extra push, because sometimes even in our lives, if we just leave it up to us, we won't do what we need to do to succeed.
No.
But when you have that why, that little girl that's depending on you, or that little boy that's depending on you, or someone else that's in your life, one of your loved ones or friends or whatever, someone else. It's always funny that we won't do what we need to do for us, but we'll go, miles and journey 1,000 miles for someone else. So whatever that why is for you, that's what's going to fuel your vision. And that's why this story is so compelling, because it's a leadership story. It's a story about a leader. And I want you to understand this, that this woman was not a rich woman. This woman didn't say, well, I can't make it to the United States because I don't have enough money. I can't make it to the United States because I don't know anybody in the United States. She didn't make none of those excuses. All she saw was that my children and their children's children, and Dr. Pierre is going to talk about that later on, will have a better opportunity than here. There is better than here. Now, how do I close that gap? That's all she did. That's all she did. And I want you to go ahead and talk about because you made your own dare, and that started from your living room. Tell us about that story.
Well, like I said, America offers hope, and this country offered so much for me. When I came, I found my mother. We didn't have a house. We didn't own a home. We didn't own a car. My mom, she was working in the farm, but she believed here when I came, I'm going to do everything she was not able to do. So I remember when I graduated from Miami-Dade College, my mom graduated. I removed all the coat, everything, my cap and gown, I put them on my mom. And for her, it's like that was the best thing that had ever happened to her. I realized when I came here, my life was very hard, working fast food restaurant, but I had a dream though. I didn't have a place to live. We didn't have much. I was skinny, not because I wanted to, but because so many times we didn't have food. But I had a dream. My mom wanted me to become a nurse, but I did not like the medical field because my heart will not be able to work with people when they're sick, when they're suffering. So I chose a different career. So I obtained a degree in office technology because I love the office environment. I love to dress pretty, red lipstick. I mean, I love to work with people. I mean, in a different setting. So I saw how, to all the people listening, regardless of your belief, as a woman of faith, I prayed. And I always believe there's this quote I always keep with me: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I remember how I was teased. People teased me, told me I was crazy to think somebody will give me a job behind a desk. Who's going to make a phone call for me? I'm Haitian. I don't speak English, but I never pay attention to that. This is one thing I realized. Everybody, if you have a place to go, some people will give you a thumbs up, some people give you a thumbs down. But if you're determined, if your determination to succeed, like Ogmendino once said, is strong enough, don't pay them no mind. Because you are the visionaries, not them. Because somebody in your family did not graduate from college, that doesn't mean you're not going to graduate from college. So everything my mom was not able to do, my sister and I, we did. So when I started climbing the ladder, I realized I found myself working for the government. I don't know how I got there, but I got there. From the government, when I went to the government, at that time, from a fast food restaurant, from a clerk, from a receptionist. And when I got there as an administrative secretary, working at the headquarters for one of the 7 largest jails in this country, reporting to an executive director. And I had angels waiting there for me because I was prepared. Because you cannot go nowhere without preparation. If you're not prepared, you will end up somewhere else. Where I wanted to end up, that's where I end up. So I climbed the ladder. I continued to go to school, and I end up in HR. My expertise is in human resources management and employee development. So by the time I kept climbing the ladder, as a matter of fact, after many decades, 2018, I've decided to step down. To answer your questions, I have to go back to let the people see how I took the day from my living room. Because right. I'm so grateful for what this country had offered me. And when I realized at the level that I was, I met women coming to look for jobs without a resume. They don't know how to interview. They don't dress good. So I've decided I must pay it forward, because to whom much is given, much is required. And the idea of me returning back to my community to do something impactful was nagging me. But where do I begin? Where did I start? So on June 17, 2006, I decided I was going to open my living room to start impacting the lives of women. So to show them the way. So when you go for an interview, you know how to interview, how to keep your job. Because I was able to keep my job for many years, regardless, because not everybody's going to like you. But as long as you know exactly who you are, I've worked there. I got promoted at least 7 times. And I always make it my business to transform the lives of people working with me or other people. So from 2006, I began from my living room. I saw all the transformations from women's life. And I said, God, it's 3 years now. I think I'm done. And I realized my job was just begun. And not only I work with the women, I'm the founder of the organization. And now I added the youth, at-risk teenagers girls from public school, the organization by the name of Ladies of Valor Empowerment, with 2 major components. One of them, the mentorship of at-risk teenage girls from public school. This is my heart. This means so much to me. And the Ladies of Valor Empowerment, where we empower women so they can be employable.
Now, I want you to go back with us, because one of the things that I really want to highlight is that experience from the living room when you started. Because I know most of us, sometimes we don't want to start anything because we're not starting at the big office.
Yes.
Most of us, we don't want to start that podcast because we don't have 10,000 followers. We don't want to start that YouTube channel because 1 million followers are not subscribed to us. We want to we don't like to start from the bottom for some reason. And then when we do start, we think that everything has to be perfect. So I want you to talk about the type of mindset that you had when you first started from that living room. How many people showed up? What were you saying to them? Did you prepare? Did you have any type of PDF or checklist or anything to give them? Did you prepare motivational speeches? What did you do? Walk us through that process.
Well, mentally, I saw myself transforming somebody's life because, like I said, I've received so much. And I realized I saw women come into the office. They don't know if they're going to the left and to the right. And for me to begin, I did not have no support. I didn't know where to start. Because one thing I realized, when you don't have nothing, nobody really wanna be part of it. Because you don't have a name yet, but by now I do. But you don't have a name yet. You cannot help nobody. But I've always wanted to do what I wanted to do to pay it forward. I didn't have nothing prepared except the first time maybe 3 women came. And then this is how 3 women came. And then I was meeting with them every last Saturday. The 3 doubled the next month. And it kept growing and go. I mean, by the time, sometimes there's so many women. But I did not know at that time about the 501c3. It's after my cousin told me, I believe now it's time for you to leave the living room to file for 501c3. I did not even know where to begin. So this is what I did. So I went on the internet to see who was doing the type of work that I was doing from my living room, that I can partner with them, associate with them. So some people said no, but this organization from Washington, D.C. said yes. So they invited me to the national conference, and I joined the first national conference. That's where I learned everything, what to do. And now we're no longer in the living room. We had a beautiful headquarters at the downtown North Miami.
Man, I wish we could show the audience some pictures. Maybe we'll get some pictures for you guys to show you guys. I have her. We'll give you her link. Her link will be in the description. All her information will be in the description, so she can share those type of pics with you. And man, this is exciting. So you offer leadership to these young women of valor, right? And I want to understand, why did you choose these particular young women, and what type of leadership do you offer them?
Well, this is one thing I say, Coach. If someone never has a stomachache before, if I go to them and say, I have a stomachache, they don't know what to tell me. Look, I've been where the youth that I'm working with now, I've been where they are now, that's where I've been. Some of them, their moms, their parents have been deported, and they're living with somebody. These are the kids that really need that leadership. They need somebody. They need guidance. Okay. So they need guidance, and when they come to the program, not only I offer them guidance, I offer them the love that they're searching, so they don't have to go get it at the wrong place. You see, one thing I've learned: whenever you see a youth is bullying another youth, she or he's crying for love. They're crying for somebody to say, I believe you. You're going to make it. You look handsome. You look beautiful. I'm there for you. So leadership development. The youth that come to this program, I teach them how to greet somebody. If you come to my event, whenever we do a public event, people don't pay attention to nobody but to the youth. Remember, I worked for public safety for years. I take all my experience and I put it there. So, good morning, sir. Good morning, man. I make sure they present that image. They know how to dress for the public, how to carry themselves. You stand up. I teach them how to speak. One time I was invited to go to this place where, high-class people. I went to an award. I dressed 30 girls in uniform, and we fill a school bus. Once the door opened, go Al Gables. Once the door opened, I mean, everybody's looking, 30 girls in uniform, pink and black, in uniform, full uniform. If I stand up, they stand up. If I move, they move. I'm teaching them because when I look at those girls, I see the next generation of change makers. I'm putting this in their mind. I bring every leaders. I bring police chief. I bring all three public safeties. Because look, even though we've seen lots going on with the police, I'm telling the youth, do not allow what's going on right now to deter them from a big career in public safety. It's not a job, it's a career. Look at me, I'm a civilian. I had my career and now I transition. I'm not retiring, I transition. So the kids, I'm teaching them how to dress. When I was their age, I did not have that training, how to really dress. I used to dress crazy. So the kids, they understand beauty is not from nakedness. Beauty is from your heart. So when they go, I make sure that they're always clean. And the grades level have been going up. The school that I work with, the school is so pleased with the program, they put me on their board. So everything, they invite me, graduation, they invite me, because the kids, when they come, they go back and talk about what's going on.
Now, I want everyone to understand the progression that was made from a small island of Haiti to the United States because of one leader's vision.
Yes.
I want you to get that. That's very important, because I want you to understand as leaders that you have the power to make an impact for generations and generations and generations. Not just today. Like her mom made a decision that are impacting generations today in 2020. I want you to understand that that's how far your leadership influence stretches when you go in with a heart to serve people, when you go into the heart to touch lives, because she's not only touching these young women to be leaders, but she's also a protector. She's keeping these young women from the streets, from sex trafficking. Miami has a big sex trafficking ring, and a lot of young girls have fallen into that trap. And she's one of the police women that are making sure that those little girls don't fall into that trap. I just want you to see what Dr. Pierre is doing. And she started with zero, nothing. For those of you that are thinking about starting a nonprofit or thinking about, that next career, or you want to start a health food thing, or you want to start a career, to start helping women. There's a lot of women that's so ambitious and they're doing it. But I want you to see her story so you can get motivated to say that I can start with what I have. I don't need the big names. And I want, you see how excited I am about this. I want, Dr. Pierre, I want you to talk about how you reached out to these big names like TJ Maxx and Macy's and everything, and how you got engaged with them, with you starting from zero. What was that process like?
Well, like I said, if your determination to succeed is strong enough, failure will not be your option. Because once I partner with the national organization, I end up meeting big organization from New York, from Detroit. I met TJ Maxx in Detroit. This organization in Detroit, a women organization, they're big. So every year we meet somewhere. And because the more I go to different places, my mind is so enlarged. So I know what to do. But everywhere I go, I meet some big organization. But so by the name, they come to see what I'm doing. They're interested. They want to be all in, because I mean, whatever I'm doing, it's wide open, because I love what I'm doing. This is not something nobody forced me to do, and I realized I gotta give back. I gotta keep paid forward. If I'm gonna do something, I gotta do something very impactful. So look, because I work with men and women in uniform, even though I serve in human resources for so many years, because I work with men and women in uniform, I see once you have people in uniform, they care about each other. They love each other. So the youth, so some of the kids, their lives change forever. Because even though on Tuesdays, they still have to wear the same T-shirts. If we're going on a field trip, the same thing. I mean, they love field trips. They love field trips. We do different field trips where we go to this university where we will go to the kitchen, we cook from scratch, because I'm teaching them about obesity prevention. America offers a lot, including a lot of food. So I'm teaching them. So let's say instead of you go to the fast food, you can take the same money, you go buy something. I mean, it doesn't have to be so expensive. And you learn how to clean the chicken, put it under the oven. You can bake the potato. Instead of you go buy the French fries, buy all those things that can create issues for you that you don't need. Because I'm telling them, I can see them lead. I can tomorrow, because what I'm giving them now, I didn't have it. My mom gave me what she had. I didn't have mentors, doctors, attorneys, all these people coming, because all my connection, I bring them. And it's like the YOVI program, Youth of Valor Empowerment, they love to be called YOVI. I'm YOVI. So once you have a heart to do something along the way, when you take off with what you got, you believe in what you're doing, you're going to meet people. You're going to meet people. I mean, it's like we have community partners that I don't want to say people know me. They know they know about the program. Wow. Because of the work that I do and the uniforms. I make sure they feel proud of the uniform. They feel proud of who they are. I bring women to come do etiquette for them. When you sit at the table, how you eat, how you dress, how you talk. And there's this big major hotel. They gave me those uniforms without logo. Whenever they graduate from high school, you see them, all of them. Once they graduate from high school, you will see the one that's graduated, that are in college, they wear professional suit, gray and lavender.
Wow. Wow.
And they take the microphone. I give them the microphone. I give them the microphone because from where we are, I make sure I begin to train them. If tomorrow I cannot speak, I want my voice to still continue.
Hey, I just want to add one thing. So Dr. Pierre has this red microphone that I love. I love because she will offer motivation anywhere she goes at any time. She will start motivating the whole crowd. So that's the type of person she is. And she's being very modest. She is known throughout Miami. They know her because she has a loud voice. You know, the squeaky wheel gets the oil. So she's screaming out for her girls. So she's very passionate about these young ladies, and she's making an impact. And this is starting from ground zero. If you ever wanted to meet someone, because I know you hear all these stories about people, the Anthony Robbins and all these other people, they come, oh, I was homeless and I was sleeping in my bathtub and I was this and that. Cool. But now you're not. I mean, we can't even relate to you. I mean, but we have our own right here. My sister right here, Dr. Pierre, right here, that has done it. I can always reach out to her and say, hey, listen, I'm not feeling it today. I'm not motivated today. I can read her book. I can reach out to her. She's real. She's done it. She could give me the practical steps that I need to make it to that next level, or to just make it out of bed. Sometimes, especially during quarantine, and we might go into another quarantine right now. We're headed down that way. When you start all this worldly crises and job loss and relationship challenged by this. I mean, that's a lot of stress. And sometimes you don't feel motivated. It's people like Dr. Pierre that I look up to, to help me get motivated. And one of the biggest things that I hope you guys didn't miss is about relationships. As a leader, you must build relationships. Everything that you have is going to come through someone. It's not going to fall out of the sky into your hands. It's going to come, even if it's the receptionist that you have to go through to get to that president. Everything that you have in life is going to come through someone. And she goes into those relationships with one thing: a servant's heart. How can I serve? Not how can you help me, but how can I serve you first? And then she sits back and watch people shower her with money, shower her with uniforms, shower her with her office space. Those are nuggets, man. And I want you guys to understand that this stuff is so important. It's so important to build relationships. And one of the things that I want to, the last thing that I want to talk about is they call you Lady Love, Dr. Pierre.
Lady Love.
And sometimes we forget about that in leadership. We forget there's a love component. So tell us why they call you Lady Love.
Well, I have so many things. From my former job, my team, I call them Team Love. They call me Miss Love. But in the community, they call me Lady Love because the name of the organization is Ladies of Valor Empowerment. And one day, the group of the ladies that I began to mentor for my living room, they gave me a gift. I mean, I love colors, everything colorful. And I saw a bag with so many colorful papers, and I kept pulling papers. And when I looked, there was a box. And outside the box, it said the Love Revolution. Because without compassion, a lot of things we cannot do, really. Because first of all, I don't know the kid's mom. I don't know their dad. They bring each other. They bring each other from the school. In the school publicity, they bring each other. And it's like, once you're going to go out of your way to do certain things, we cannot do without love. We cannot do it without love. Because I don't get paid for the work that I'm doing for 14 years. Because God has blessed me. Because God, the thing for me, it's more than money. My health is more than money. I had a very successful career. That's a big blessing. As an immigrant, when people was teasing me, told me I was crazy when I said I was going to work in an office. By the time I got in there, after 2 months, I found myself sitting in a presidential motor coach as a translator, coming from rock bottom.
Wow.
What more do I want God to do for me? So now I'm paying it forward, and I'm living my best life.
What more do you want God to do for you? That's a very profound question. And that's what I want to ask my audience. What more do you want God to do? Because God has done it all. Now it's your turn. I want to give you the last word on this one, but I have to ask this question because I know we have a lot of success junkies on this live. You know, people that read a lot of books and they're always in seminars and everything, and they would like to know, what type of books do you read, or do you go to seminars, podcasts, just to help you to have that positive mindset, that keep going mindset? And what do you do when you don't feel motivated?
I pray. That's the first thing I do. I pray. I love to read. I'm an avid reader. I mean, there's this book I love to read. It's always on my purse, The Greatest Salesman in the World by Ogmandino. And of course, my book, It's Your Time, Be Daring, Take Off with What You Got. If you're waiting for big organization to take off, you will never take off. If you're waiting for big jobs to take off, you will never take off. If you're waiting to have money to take off, you will never take off. This book give all the readers a plan, and the plan. Why? How did my mom did it? How did I do it? So all the people that's been buying this book now is placed among best-selling books on Amazon. They call me to tell me once I read a chapter, I cannot put the book down. I want to know what happened to you next. I want to know what you did next. So this book is like a movie. People cannot wait to see the other scene. So www.draldourdes.net, the book is there for them. And also, for the marketing of the book, I use the words of the book to come with a marketing song, which is with the island beat. So soon there will be, well, God knows this is how it's going to bless me so I can continue to bless others.
Man, I love it. I mean, I love it. So you got it from her, guys. I mean, this has been an experience. Now we know how to take off with what we got as leaders. So I thank you very much, Dr. Pierre, for being here. If you have any last words that you, or last motivations that you would like to say, go ahead and feel free.
Well, the last thing I want to say during this time of uncertainty, this time of sadness, so many things going on, anxieties, I want to encourage everybody that's watching this live, take some time for them early in the morning and make it their business not to isolate themselves. Let them be the one that call a friend and say, hey, coach, how are you doing? How was your day? Let them be the one that said, that put a Zoom just to have fun with their friends, because we don't know what we are looking at. Instead of me waiting for friends to call me, I just call and we just laugh. We call our friends, we host birthday parties on Zoom, because when we do that, because mentally, if the mind is in bad shape, the entire body will be. So if all of us, each one of us, wherever we are, we care about someone, we will save people mentally. We will help them mentally to have the belief, the strength, the stamina to believe that COVID will finish tomorrow and they can continue. If each one of us touch one, the world will be a better place, coach.
That's right. That's right. Amen to that. And on that note, I just want to say thank you again, Dr. Pierre. Really appreciate you being here. Everyone follow Dr. Pierre. Her IG handle is on my page. Go to my page at Glastinne. You'll see her IG handle. Go and follow her for more content. If you want to be daring, if you're starting out from rock bottom right now and you don't understand how to lead, and you're looking for somebody that's a bona fide leader,
this book.
You got to get her book. You got to get a book. The story is phenomenal. The story is phenomenal.
Thank you,
because
Coach.
Anybody that can get on a rinky dinkety wooden boat, makeshift boat, and sail to America, you got to read about that person.
They're daring. Courageous.
Yeah, they're daring. So we're daring you to be great right now.
To be great. And also, Coach, my podcast, I have an inspirational podcast. It's Dr. Alourdes Pierre, Inspirational Leaders Are Us podcast, because I believe once we were created to lead. And whenever we dominate over something, we are leaders. So we will just need to develop our leadership, and we got to take it. We got to do it.
Hey, she got the last word. And I will see you guys next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Thank you, Dr. Alourdes.
So much. Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, if you want to see more leadership tips that can help you on your journey, check out this video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.